Today, let us investigate and see how best the state have responded for the aspirations of the migrant workers. We have around 2.5 million migrant workers who have migrated to other countries looking at better life. When you say better life, it is not only for them, also for their dependents. Through that, it is a better growth for the country. The investment came through them. And I'm one of them who have migrated 36 years ago to Middle East. I've been working in many countries. And we are the one who remitted over 9 million in recent time, $9 million to the country. The total exports is almost the same amount. Imports and exports are around half the amount of what we transfer. Our remittances are the ones who fed this country, even during the war. The war was funded by us to the state, whereas some other elements were funding against the state. And government deregularization helped many of these organizations to prosper. And our money is the one who helped the government. Also the war, he should be very thankful for migrant workers. Now, coming to better life, happiness index in this country was purely depending on people who migrated. And also, the money that they transfer, we would have used it in the most appropriate policies. The state didn't have proper policies. So, unfortunately, people who left even after the war, they were expecting to return. The economy was not welcoming them. Job creation is very important. People left because of job opportunities abroad. And last 30 years, we were not able, the state was not able to create jobs. It is starting from housemaids, skilled workers, unskilled workers, educated elite society with their economics, with the knowledge, they left the country. So they didn't leave the country, they migrated to work. And their citizenship cannot be deprived. Unfortunately, with this corona, it is illegal to deprive their coming back to country. It is true that you can close the country for the corona to control. And we close it for some time. We close it for even our own nationals. Foreign income, we were depending on tourism as well. We close it to them. But it is more important to open first for our own people. I know that some countries still can enter this state. But what about our own workers? The problem is the state is not anticipating and predicting and planning. Anticipating the future and predicting is important. I have done few write-ups, and also I informed different sources, high authorities, alarming them what is going to happen. I saw they will be depriving the foreign workers. On the 10th of March, we on the Facebook said schools should be closed. I had negative responses. On the 12th, I informed that we should predict that in 2 months' time we will have 20,000 people necessity for quarantine. And 20,000 I took 10%, 10%, 2%, 10%, 10% basis. Out of 20,000, again at any time we should have 2,000 diagnosed patients and 200 expected deaths. If we plan it by that way, if we anticipate, we will prepare the infrastructure necessity. And it is a false statement looking at few people to stay. The state authority, the people migrated is expecting luxury on their return. It is not true. It was a cover for them. The media was used heavily to protect their mistakes by putting on few migrant workers. Unfortunately, the country majorities try to believe on it. By now, that is becoming bogus. Now, coming again to migrant workers, they are citizens of this country who have the right, which part of constitution have the right to deprive the citizenship rights. The movement, this is a democratic country. So if we have anticipated 20,000 and prepared beds, they would have not closed the country for their own people. Many countries, when they saw 100, they were always talking about Italy, USA, UK. They never closed the country for their nationals. But when it comes to our country closing and they don't compare with them. Why? They fail to recognize this is a force supported the war and we must always honor them. Sri Lankan airline was well prepared to go to certain countries and bring. But I think there was a mistake always looking at political clouds and their family status when they bring people from abroad. Don't do that. Definitely all of them could be brought if they have planned properly. How, one would argue with me, how do you create 20,000 people for quarantine? It was so easy. I informed the methodology. There are so many hotels belong to and guest houses belong to government. They have leased to certain companies. They are owned by the state. They would have taken back for a certain period of time the lease because it was empty because of the curfew status and closing the country. So that would have been turned to quarantine centers. Also, universities were closed. They would have taken one university for a short period of time or even a long period of time when it is an emergency situation. It is the proper action that the government would have taken. The university would have been a proper place for quarantine purposes. You don't have to build, you don't have to invest more money on creating that environment. So here always they were showing this is like a war. Definitely our military have done a tremendous job. But one thing I want to tell you, even the war we won not because of only military, it was integrated efforts of our people. It is not just only the medical workers and doctors should take the lead. It is the all sectors should integrate after some time with these two major core areas of competencies. The competencies of others now slowly trying to take it. But they were, in the beginning, they were isolated or neglected. We must understand integration is the success of anything, even an organization. It was not done. So I hope the state realize it is a prime duty today to take care of these employees who have gone abroad. Their loved ones are waiting. They have purchased their tickets more than last 2 months waiting for their passage to enter the country. We have no right to stop them entering the country. We should plan it in such a way who gave bread and butter for many people. 10 million people, half the population of the country was depending on those people. People didn't go for leisure. Some of them are describing they went there on their own. Gentlemen, because they went abroad, you all were able to find jobs here because the job demand in the country squeezed. And also, because they went abroad, that is the very reason our country was flooded with dollars, the foreign revenue, which is necessity for the growth of the country, also for the war. Once again, I'm telling you, the state started to recognize those people as Rataviru, but treat them as nothing. Don't use words, but on your action, show what you have done for them. It is a necessity today. My friends are dying in those countries who were waiting to join their families. And this is not acceptable for me. I had tried to keep away on a video program like this, but when I know my closest friends are dying, I have taken steps to be vocal. Definitely, the economy, I can tell you, these economists are not focused on bringing the country back to normal, at least not even to take opportunity for a different game plan to develop the country. They have no knowledge because they will never get it, because they don't have the consciousness. Their consciousness is purely nepotism, political, religious, cult organization to support. These are their motives, our leadership. Our leadership should be for the country, for the masses, for the common man, and also the elite society, educated people to find jobs. And definitely in the future, agriculture sector will do a major role, because this country is made by nature for to be that. So, but still, you cannot take the industrial sector completely away. State should take initiatives, local innovation, and also creating of jobs in the industrial area. And make sure once again, soon take steps to bring these people back.